Hey there, everybody. It's Jenny, and I am here today to share with you in my Memory a Day BUJO. You can see the last couple of weeks. I love them, and that was last week right there. Now, this week we are going to do something totally different. Now, it will not be the lines that I'm drawing, those are going to be the same. But I'm going to be working with rub-ons. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with them, but you're going to get a whole lesson on them today. I am using some from the Happy Ever Crafter, and she sells her products through the Cocoa Daisy store. And these rub-ons are so pretty. They're just a few different types of florals on one sheet. And I'm loving that because you can get the variety or you can stick to the same type of flower on each one. I am just drawing 3 columns on each side, and then the furthest right column will be split into 2 for Saturday and Sunday. I do include my memory a day on Saturday and Sunday, but it's fine for me to do it this way. I love the variety and changing things up, so I am happy to have a different layout. Now these are the rub-ons, so you can see right here, they look like stickers on clear sticker paper. However, each image, you cut them out from the whole big sheet, you remove the wax paper background, and then you use something to press it down on the page where you want it. Typically, that is a popsicle stick like you can see me using right here. And sometimes there are some tools that exist for rub-ons, or you can use something like I can't even think of the name of the tool, but a lot of different things can work. A popsicle stick works great though, and most rub-ons include a popsicle stick in the package. So you can see you just trim them apart. It's very difficult to use it when it's still on the big sheet. You run the risk of rubbing off some of the other ones that are on the big sheet. So it's best to just trim off the circular one, or not the circular one, the individual one that you want to use. Now sometimes with this size of rub-on, it can be a little bit difficult because these are fairly large. I mean, they're not huge or anything like that, but they're not really small. And so for this size, it can be difficult to make sure that you get the entire image, like every last little bit. So that's why I pull it up very slowly so that if I didn't get a little part, I can just put it right back down in the same spot. So I just pull one corner up at a time and remove it very slowly. So I'm going to do it once again. You can see that I have the 2 right down there in the center and then 2 up at the top. There's basically 4 different types of florals on this sheet. And so I want to use them all just to make it feel very feminine and floral this week. So that's why I'm using all of the different types. So it looks basically, I think, like zinnias and dahlias and poppies and roses, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not an expert on florals, so I'm not going to say that I am. Now I'm adding this little one down at the bottom right here, and I am overlapping it with the edge because I want it to sit flush against the edge of the paper right down there at the bottom. So there's just a tiny bit that you won't get to see down there. I'm going to add one last one over here, and I'm going to have it overlap kind of Saturday, Sunday, and Friday a little bit just for, see, I want to make sure that I leave enough room to be able to add the memory each day, so that can be tricky on Saturday and Sunday, but ordinarily they're not really long. It's like a sentence or two, so there is plenty of room there as long as I strategically place the rub-on right there. So I know it looks a little bit random here, but I think when it all comes together, it's a little bit better. Now I'm going to use this stamp block as a palette, if you will. I'm going to take my Tombow brush markers and I'm going to brush a swath of color on the stamp block, and then I'm going to use my water brush pen to brush that color onto the flowers. Now there's 2 things. One, I wish I had just used a regular paintbrush, but I wasn't able to really find one. And I also, okay, back to the paintbrush. Let's talk about that first. Because this was sort of diluting the color a little bit, and I didn't really want to do that. I mean, it's fine, and it turned out very pretty, but it is best. I don't know. I don't know if it's best or not. It may not have worked either with a dry brush. So I'm going to just skip that part. So forget I even said that. The second part is that the rub-ons are all rub-on. So even the clear part still has that clear. So it's sort of like a resist pattern. Like if you write with a white crayon and then you try painting over that white crayon, you get that resist. So this is kind of the same thing. So I'm getting mostly a halo of color around the outside. A little tiny bit sticks to the white portion of the rub-on, and it's very pretty. I'm using two different shades of pink, both from the Tombow brush markers, and it's very, very pretty. Now I'm going to do the same thing again. I want to create swaths of color at the top where I'm going to put the numbers for the dates. So I just exactly what it looks like. I sort of scribbled a little wash of color up there at the top, cleaned off my block, and then now I'm going to pull out the number stamps that I want to use for this week. They're a little bit different. I haven't used them before, and they are from Paper Person. I don't know if they're still in her shop. Probably not, but they're the numbers, and then they leave a little space to stamp something else, which is going to be the month. So for example, I'm going to stamp 13 and then be able to stamp February right in the center. It's going to be so cool, and I love this really graphic look at the end of the week. So I'm just going to repeat this pattern throughout the entire week right here, cleaning them off as I go. I'm using the regular stamp cleaner that I use and then wipe them on the microfiber towel. I'm pleased to report that this continues to just work the way that exactly how I need it to. It gets the stamp super clean, and then I'm just using a rewashable cloth every single time. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word cloth. And I'm not wasting any paper products, so that's awesome. All right, so now we're on to the weekend. Now for the Sunday, I'm just not going to add the date. I could, I'm just not going to. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter to me if it has the date or not. It looks best to just have them all the way across the top, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, I theoretically could have probably managed to put an extra column somehow in here and they just would have all been thinner, and that's okay. But I like it like this, and it doesn't bug me at all that there's not a number down there. Now I'm going to go back and stamp all of the Februaries throughout all of the dates. Look how cool that is, right? I love it. Absolutely love it. It gives the illusion of overlapping stamps, but they're not. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks so much, and make it a great day.